Saturday Night Ladies. This is our second off week because they gave us a space of 2 weeks that we would not have new SNL. I am Deej Barons.
I'm Shari Fesco.
I'm Demi Constantine.
As is becoming a tradition for these off-week episodes, some may know him from the Saturday Night Network chat room, of which he has recently been appointed moderator. Please welcome our friend, Victor Higgins.
Yay!
Yeah, care for the Higgins part. I am the father, or I'm the son of
I knew it.
the one and only John Higgins and Steve Higgins. I am the third one, and you should see me soon on Saturday Night Live, season 67 or something. 67. But yes, it's great to be. It's great to be here on Saturday Night Live.
We really appreciate you coming in at the last minute. Firstly, we were going to record with another guest, but they had some issues with their throats. But Victor was available for us. So, to start with, before we get into the episode, tell us about your SNL origin story.
Sure thing. So my origin story is kind of a long one, but I'll try to condense it to as much as I possibly can. SNL has always been a show I've always heard of, just heard about it and stuff, but never actually really knew what it was until I got into it. And my first exposure to it was one night where I think me and my mom were just out, just doing whatever, just having fun. It was one night where I just could not sleep, so downstairs, and aside from seeing my sleepy mom, what I see was SNL on TV, and it was the Gal Gadot episode. It was a rerun from August of 2018, I would say. And one person that really stuck out to me was Kenan Thompson, and that's because at the time, TNIC, other channel where they would show old 90s shows called, at that time it was called Nick Splat. They had various different names of it. But at the time, Nick Splat, they showed a lot of Kenan and Kel and all of that. And seeing Kenan, I was like, oh, okay, wow. This guy who I've seen for quite a while now on this other thing that soon I'm going to be a fan of. And so after that, and I watched the rest of the episode, and everything else stuck out to me. Like the one sketch that Cecily and I believe 80 did, where it was a video cam, and they were trying to get money because I think they were playing strippers in it, as well as one sketch featuring another great Saturday Night lady, Heidi Gardner, as a very messed up teen, and she was playing around doing a bunch of things, and Keenan was great in that too, especially with the reveal that she said, "Oh, I want someone to be my daddy." And he said, "You want to be my daddy?" And she said, "Yes, I want you to be my daddy." So after that, I see more of it, and I did some digging, and I found out various different people that were famous. Adam Sandler, Ed Murphy, Will Ferrell were on this, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's very cool." Well, the first name that really stuck out to me was Garrett Morris, and that's because, for better or for worse, I watched a lot of Two Broke Girls reruns. And Garrett was part of that show, and seeing him, I was like, "Oh wow, that's crazy." And two names that stuck out to me, because I found them from the same thing at the same time, were Tim Meadows and John Lovitz. And that's because, in addition to them playing a lot of Two Broke Girl reruns on a CW affiliate, they also showed a syndicated show that I'm not sure if either one of you three have heard of, called Mr. Box's Office. It was about a guy who got in trouble with paparazzi, and he had to teach a class at a school. And it ran for 2 seasons. It wasn't the greatest show ever, but that's how I knew both of them. And also, Gary Busey was on that, and he's as Gary Busey as you could possibly get with him. That was just a very crazy show, and seeing both of them. First of all, I was so disappointed that none of them were that Tim Meadows and John weren't on SNL at the same time, because the season after John left, Tim came in. I was so disappointed. Oh man, I really hope we get one sketch with both of them in there. And I know eventually John would host the show while Tim is in the cast. Yeah, that's kind of how I first got into the show. Yeah, I remember just eventually checking out various different behind the scenes videos, the different intros over the years, and made me appreciate the show more and more and more. And I remember one time I tried to watch the show. The first time I tried to watch the show was the first show of 2019, with Richard Brosnahan. And unfortunately, I couldn't watch it. I wanted to, but I couldn't because I got very sick. But and then it was either the Don Cheadle, because this is season 44. It was either Don Cheadle or the John Mulaney episode of that season where I fully tried to watch it, and I watched the first half of it, but I always fall asleep. Because one thing you have to know about me is that before SNL, I always stayed up before my bedtime. My bedtime was 8 o'clock. I probably went to bed at 7, and so trying to stay up to watch this show that stays on until 1 in the freaking morning is absolutely bonkers. But it was something I was willing to do, and I just kept on trying and trying and trying to watch the show until I would not fall asleep. And one thing I would do to watch the show when I trying to fall asleep was I would get a measuring cup and fill it up with water. If I almost felt like I was about to fall asleep, I would hit myself with water, or just kind of grab a little bit and rub it on my eyes just to make sure I stayed up to watch SNL. It's very funny to think about now, now that I can watch the show up with ease at my age now. But again, doing that was a big challenge, but something I eventually overcame. And the first show I fully watched from start to finish without falling asleep was the Emma Stone episode from that same season, C-44. And I eventually just been watching the show ever since. And for the most part, have not missed an episode live. But quickly, just getting into how I found SNN, they posted a bunch of stuff on Reddit. I was so confused because I didn't know what dress rehearsal was, and I remember something that they did. That I'm so glad they actually don't do anymore, where they'd be like, "Oh, this person's about to show on this episode, or they're going to do a sketch about this." And again, I didn't know what dress rehearsal was. So I was like, "How in the world do you guys know this? Like, are y'all wizards? Like, what is happening?" And eventually, I got into their live chat, probably around like midway through their 47 coverage, where I've been part of ever since.
Who is your favorite female cast member?
I have to go with Cecily Strong, not only because she's an absolute beautiful woman inside and out, but she commits so hard to her sketches, and I absolutely love that. Like, she is so versatile. She can sing. She can actually act absolutely bonkers, but also act very calm. And
Cicely
it
has
shows
a
how
really
committed
touching
she
Book.
is.
This Will All Be
And
Over
of course,
Soon,
her
a
other
memoir,
counterparts, Amy
which
Bryan
she talks about
and Kate
the
McKinnon, were
grief
great
over
too.
her
But
cousin
my
Owen's
heart always
death
goes
from
to
brain
Cecily Strong.
cancer while navigating SNL, New Love, and lost during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mhm.
So we are going to get into the show since Melissa McCarthy has been announced as host for December 6th with musical guest Dijon. We have each picked a favorite Melissa McCarthy sketch. Get your big dumb cup, put on your big dumb hat, and let's talk about SNL.
Yay! I am so excited for this topic. This was all Deej's idea because, like she said, we had to rearrange our plans. And this was such a great idea because Melissa McCarthy is a genius. I knew that already, but after watching a bunch of her sketches tonight, she just doesn't make a bad sketch. And I did learn something that I didn't know. She is one of just a handful of five-time hosts that has been nominated for an Emmy for every single one of her hosting gigs. So I just wanted to get that little bit of trivia out.
And she win? But she hasn't won any.
I think she might have won at least one, but she's been nominated all 5 seasons.
Incredible. That's incredible, and I just love that you are now giving details on stuff because usually that's Deisha's job, but now it's your turn to throw the bone, and I love that so much.
Yeah, we definitely spread it around.
Yeah, there was a lot of great sketches from her five hosting stints that I could choose from, but I decided to go from one from her season 39 hosting stint, which I think is kind of an underrated show from that season in general. And again, I know season 39 is probably the most well loved season among fans for various different things that happened throughout it. But I decided to go with the PJ Doesn't Fit into a Woman's Group sketch, which is probably my all time favorite Melissa McCarthy sketch, except for like one, which I know one of you guys are ready to get into. But yeah, I really love this, and it because it shows like how she can still be her like crazy chaotic self, but still kind of be calm in the same way, and still kind of show that like embarrassing side of her, like showing all that into one aspect. I think it's very nice, and it's a very fun sketch too. And it's a sketch where I feel all the SNLA, especially Vanessa in this, can still have moments even if they're not taking over the sketch.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely
That just that
incredible.
I like that she's still very physical. She is not afraid to jump
I
through
was
that
just
fake
going to
glass
say that
window.
that dive out that window is like seamless. She makes it look like she dives out windows every day. For all I know, she does.
Anytime
Yeah.
she needs to, she probably does it.
I did miss the visual gag because I rewatched it recently and I missed the visual gag that she has three
Yeah.
daggers in her blazer on the inside. I was like, oh, I just caught that this time around. That was a delightful detail.
Yeah, for me it was her stick-figure dead father.
And coincidentally, I also had
And
yogurt.
Yeah, because that's a great detail that I just love. Like she mentions all the bad things, like oh, I also have yogurt, and I really also love Vanessa in that because she's like so like very like nervous about like what she just heard, but so managed to keep things professional and scared. And I like her response to when Melissa asked, "What's your response to gun fire?" And she's like, "Oh well, I asked you to put your shoes away, so." You, so I really love that, and yeah, I like how all of them were kind of like nervous about it, but they still kept their cool. It reminded me of that sketch they did last season with John Hamm and the like her, it was him and like Ashley Padilla, where she was very like she like was so nervous by what John revealed to the group, where it kind of made her the on man out, and where people just like did not like her at all. And I feel that's exactly the case here, and it's just really great. And Melissa fully commits to this, which I appreciate so much. And I feel like that's always what you need for a host who is going to commit to every single role they bring. I feel like those are always the best hosts of SNL, and Melissa did exactly what I love about
You are
host.
absolutely right, Victor. And what an excellent choice
Melissa's absolutely
she
fearless
is.
in all her comedy, and because you can definitely tell she definitely has a good groundlings experience. And even in, I haven't seen all of her movies, but everything she just puts her whole self into it. As a plus size lady, I do appreciate her success. I'm very much for.
Yeah, and one reason I actually picked that because I remember seeing somewhere where people had like a top 20 sketches of all time, and they listed this as like number 8, and I was like, interesting, because I remember when I first saw this, I did like it, but I was just like, oh wow, this isn't blew me away, so I decided to give this a watch. I was like, you know what? I understand now. I understand exactly why that person had this at number 8 as their all time list. I mean, is it on my all time list? Far from it, but this definitely is a great sketch. And I definitely feel like this is probably number 8 on terms of like all sketches from season 39. I probably will say that, but of all time, no. But I definitely understand why he put it there and why it's that loved among.
Totally agree. Great points as always. And I just wanted to quickly, because I left it out when I first was introducing, go over the seasons that Melissa was in. They were mostly in a row, but she did take a little break. She came for the first time in 37, then 38 and 39, all in a row, then a break, and back in 41 and 42. Deej now with season 30. Is it 38 that you're coming from, Deej?
Season 38, episode 17, from April 6, 2013. And as you can probably guess, this is in the hater era. By the way, Melissa won Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series in 2017. This is the $1 Million Wheel. The basis of this sketch is a sort of like a Wheel of Fortune type program. The letter turner was replaced by the host's brother's girlfriend. And as they say, wackiness ensues.
That hair.
She is absolutely adorable in that sketch.
Oh my
Phil
god.
absolutely kills it. This is one of his more put upon game show hosts rather than the aggressive game show host. The pathos with the, oh, Tad asked about me. She left me because of a drinking problem. Mine. I'm a horrible drunk. And just the interplay with just everything every little thing that she said. I'm gonna pretend the ex is in love with my feet. Classic. She was just so adorable. It's not the process. Now, I will give her one thing. It's on Wheel of Fortune, have the lights on.
That's
So,
always something
how
I
would she
thought
know
of,
where
like
the
when
keys
I
are?
saw like Wheel of Fortune
I was
episodes,
thinking the
like
same
when it's
thing.
like they spin the letter, they just like how they now do, they just like walk over and like lights up, you just tap it and bam, you reveal a letter. But like, man, how do you know? Like, you must have a great memory. But this particular sketch is one I kind of always go back and forth on because I've back and forth between me like liking it or not liking it. And today is this is a great example because when I watched it earlier today, I did not like this sketch, and that was because I just felt it was very like kind of but there was not a whole lot of jokes there. Like Melissa, I felt definitely still committed to this, and I did like her happy persona with almost every single thing she was doing. But it just felt like there wasn't a whole lot to get there, and it was just like okay, like right, I get the whole point. But rewatching this, I felt it was like actually a lot better because I had a like really like feeling for her character, where especially where she's like, okay, let me concentrate, like don't talk to me, and I definitely felt that was. Funny because that's something I probably would do myself when I'm trying to concentrate. Like everybody, like shut up, please, I'm trying to concentrate. Like leave me alone, shut up. And it definitely made me appreciate this more. And Bill, I love too, where he said like, "For Jesus' sake," like I thought that was very funny, and yeah. So I sketch always kind of go back and forth with me whether like I go whether I like it or I don't. But as of right now, it gets a thumbs up for me. But I'm sure if I watch it again, I'll probably be like, eh. But right now, I did enjoy it. Also, I did like going so aggressive on the scene after she like recommends help. She's like, you know, you stay put. You like shut up. I thought that was very great too.
I just love how chaotic it gets, and she's trying so hard to keep it on the rails. And this was coincidentally, this was my top pick. Actually, this sketch is my top pick. I don't remember it exactly how it played out, but just seeing her trying so hard, and it's all everything she's doing is wrong. Everything is wrong, and she's trying so hard, and she's doing it with panache. It's so, even though I agree, Victor, the premise is a little thin. And yeah, that was a big comment on YouTube. Like, what? How does she know what letters to turn? But the logic for me kind of doesn't become as important because she's so chaotic with how she's trying to do things, and none of it's right, and that's really funny to me.
Well, it's entirely possible the, set builders couldn't quite get the light up just because of how short of a time they have to put this sort of stuff together, so with that,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
willing to
never
sort of
gonna
forgo that little
criticize
bit
an
of
SNL sketch based
logic
off
in the
how the
sketch.
set is made. Because again, they only have so much time.
And also the thing that he guesses is not
That
a
Yeah,
is
and I
very
feel
song
like
true.
Fred's
title, or
part
it
is
has
probably
and it
another
has no
reason
D's in
why
it.
when I do not like this sketch, it's because of that. Because it just seems like rewatching it just a minutes ago. I felt it was still like okay, but I still feel like the ending of the sketch could have been better, even if I'm not sure how exactly I would have ended it.
I will say I do love Melissa's. She's like a ballerina. As Deej said, she's a plus size woman, but she moves with such grace. She's like a ballerina with her arms and her little spins. I mean, I couldn't do that. And she's doing it and being funny. So, very impressive. Now I'm ready for us to go to season 39 again, where Victor started us off. And now Demi's going to go back there. Take it away, Demi.
This is the cold open of this show. This is the halftime spectacular. It's a 6-minute cold open, and it
Nick
opens with
Bennett,
Jay Farrow, Bobby Moynihan, and Beck. They're playing the football commentators. I'm like, football show, I don't know. Bruno Mars got sick, so they have to have a fill-in performer, and it's all Broadway, and it's played so like ham. And some people hate musical theater on SNL, but I think it's such a rare thing to see. Like, it takes a lot of talent, and there's not always SNL cast members with a Broadway background. So when they come in, they're like ham sandwich times 50. I just eat it up. They basically go through a montage of what I'm assuming are a bunch of Broadway shows. A.D. Bryant has 7 seconds of screen time dressed up as a dowager and saying, "Oh my." Melissa McCarthy comes out. I don't know who she's playing on exactly, but it's to the nine. It is like to the hilt, Broadway insanity times 10. Bobby Moynihan, sportscaster character, I think just gets up and leaves because it's not football at all.
As a musical theater performer myself, I can see things that they're playing on I can pick
Yay!
out.
I do have to say, I was rewatching a bunch of stuff, and I was going through stuff because it was, oh, that's right, it was like 2020. And I remember that sketch actually made me cry because group singing in a big show is very emotional for me. Discovered that anyway. It was just such a great performance. And then I was like, what? Because Kenan Thompson comes on, and Melissa McCarthy goes, oh, no, not Walter Sherman. And then he's played by Ben Vereen. I'm like, what is going on? So I don't know if this is accurate, but I guess Walter Sherman is a TV character who is a Iraq veteran and reputation as being the go-to guy for tracking down insurgents and deserters in the TV show The Finder, which is a spinoff of Bones and played by Ben Vereen, who was on Broadway. And that's what Taran Killam makes sure the crowd knows. Special guest Ben Vereen playing a fictional character from The Finder. I don't know if that's correct. There's another Walter Sherman, but I have to think about that for a second because that is a hat on a hat, all right.
Okay, so I think the Broadway, they didn't really reference specific songs. Jersey was kind of like any old fashioned New York musical. The Womp Womp definitely very Candor and Ebb cabaret. And the last one was all Les Mis. And if you want a good cry for a song, the final song, Sunday, from Sunday the Park with George.
Oh.
That one
Oh
never
my
fails to choke
god.
me up. Karen Killam as he was King George in Hamilton for a
Oh.
bit. He did a revival of
Mm-hmm.
Spamalot.
Lancelot.
Also, the revival of the 25th annual Putnam Spelling Bee. But Melissa with the Womp Womp, yeah, that was definitely, I could definitely tell by the groove.
Yes, I'm
That was
glad you
Candor and
mentioned
Ebb
the Womp
all
Womp because
together.
I had
Oh.
no idea what that was, and that's probably why that did not work for me at all watching it. And this was like a very fun way because this is cool, but this is a very fun way to start the episode. It wasn't like the greatest thing ever, no, but I definitely feel it was a nice way of getting a good amount of people in, and especially since I believe like it was Beck, Kyle, Noel, and John in there. Four out of the six newbies that year, especially where it was a season where the newbies were not being used well, and so have them all in there right at the top of the episode. And with the exception of Noel, not all of them had pretty like noteworthy roles that to really like stand out to someone. And it was like a nice way, and this is something that I kind of wish the show would do more often. Just kind of have fun with material that you can use.
When it's not a political code open, that's what I love it the best.
3 bangers. I'm going to make it a quartet of bangers. This was Melissa's first episode. Wrap your head around that. It was Taste Test. The premise was pretty simple. It was a Hidden Valley Ranch focus group. They were being asked to try some new flavors. And Melissa was in yet another great wig, a really bad perm, and a Spock sweatshirt, just being her nerdiest best, hitting on Taram's character, who was one of the taste testers, and giving Abby Elliott's character, Sue, a very hard time, and trying her darndest to get a catchphrase so she could earn some money to get her out of jams. It was just nonstop and ends with a fountain of Hidden Valley all over Melissa. And again, Victor mentioned this, her commitment, and I read it as well in several of the things I read to get ready for this. She's got to be one of the most committed comedic actors of our time. She puts herself in 100%. And that's the reason I chose this sketch, because it just demonstrates
I
that
get
so
a lot
perfectly.
of Lucille Ball vibes from her.
For
I
sure.
honestly I see a lot of Chris Farley incarnated in her. Oh my god, that sketch though. I didn't rewatch it before this episode on purpose. Oh my god, it's so great.
Well, she was a regular on Gilmore Girls.
She was
Yes,
indeed.
that was her first major role.
When did Bridesmaids come out? Was it like you guys just know off the top of your head? Uh
Um,
yeah, that aired pretty late. It was
2011.
2011, which was going to be my
oh,
guess.
and this episode aired in thank God for one SNL a day for stuff like this. Oh, this is from 2011. So this must have been a promotion. Um, I would think.
For
Yeah.
that movie. Yep, I'm
But I
sure.
already knew her. Like I wasn't like blown away like, oh my God, who is this person? Like I already had seen her doing something. Um,
She was very different in Gilmore
I
Girls
never
than
watched
she
it.
was later in her career. She was very
I've
subdued in
never watched
Gilmore
an episode of
Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Very subdued.
But I've heard it's a great show. I've just never seen it.
You love it or you don't. But she was great in it, but she was very different.
Was she
Suki
funny?
was a very subdued. She had some great lines. She was funny, but not like falling through windows, pouring Hidden Valley Ranch all over
Wow.
herself funny. She was much more subdued. Give it, I mean, just watch a couple scenes, Demi, because I think you'll find it
Yeah.
interesting how she
I
has
just found out
evolved.
she was on the show. So for you, Shari, when you saw this episode, having already known who she was, were you like pleasantly surprised, confused, thrilled, like excited? What was that like?
I think I had, I'm trying to remember if I saw Bridesmaids when this came out. Maybe not quite yet. I just I just remember going, wait, that's the lady from Gilmore Girls. Whoa, she's
Oh
very different.
wow.
But I think I thought that same thing when I saw Bridesmaids, because she just blew me away in that too.
The other
So
things that
she
she's
just,
done, Mike and
Uh,
Molly, That was from
Look at Molly,
Parade
yep.
Trend in
Mhm.
2016. Gilmore Girls was 2000,
Mm.
2007. Had a guest role in Only Murders in the Building.
Mhm.
That was recent.
In 2016, she was on the Times list of one of the most influential people in the world.
Wow.
And then she's had all her movies. So Bridesmaid was her first movie where she got a Oscar nomination for Best Supporting
What?
Actress. Yes.
Yep, and
Oh yeah,
she
she's
deserved
great in
that.
that movie.
She
Yeah.
stole
She stole
every
every
scene
scene
she
she was
was
in.
in, and look who was in that movie. And she stole scenes
Yeah.
from Kristen Wiig and Maya. Not Maya.
Yeah, Maya.
Why am I blanking on the
It was
other
Maya. Maya Rudolph was
actress?
the.
I
Yeah,
was it
Maya Rudolph was
Maya?
the friend getting married.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay. So
her
two of the
husband,
best.
Ben Falcone, was also
Yes, he
in that
played
as well.
the air marshal. I knew it.
Yeah, they've been married since 2005. Jenny McCarthy is her cousin.
What?
Yes, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I did
cousins.
not
I
know.
do
She
remember
also
that.
taught. No, she was taught by Billie Eilish's mother at the Groundlings. Yeah,
Nice.
Oh,
so they're
wow.
very so whenever I think Melissa and Billie Eilish have been on SNL together before, I think maybe I don't know, but I think they've known each other for a very long time.
Oh, Gilmore Girls was the WB.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
No, that's what eventually it became CW.
Oh, okay, I remember that transition. Okay,
And
Okay, so I heard from Victor
yeah.
and he's just having problems. So I don't know if he's going to be able to join us for the end, but I told him
Oh.
we'll mention him if he can't join
Huh.
us.
She received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in
oh,
2015. And that same year, she was Forbes ranked her as the third highest paid actress in 2015 with earnings of
she
23
earned it.
million. Now, zing,
Which sounds like a lot of money, but compare her to the third highest grossing man, and I bet you she's 10 to 15
Yep.
million
yeah.
dollars less,
She also, I think,
Zingo?
which is bullshit.
it
Sorry.
is. You
I don't
don't,
swear a
Shari.
lot,
This is
but it is.
serious. She also produced a Mr. Rogers documentary, I think.
Oh,
I
she
think
produced the
so,
doc?
because she
Oh,
was doing
that's
a press
cool.
tour. I
That's
know.
super cool.
So, she definitely is doing stuff in front of and behind the camera. But let me confirm that.
Oh, we got a
Yay!
Victor.
We do have a Victor.
I am sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. Yeah, I gotta give my Wi-Fi internet a spanking after this.
Excellent, dude. Okay, cool.
Not your It's not your fault. Technology is technology. It's going to do
Yeah.
what it's going to do.
And we've been just spitting the what's it called, basic Jenny McCarthy facts throughout all here. So and the most recent film she did was as Ursula in the live
Oh
action Little Mermaid. And you can't get much
no,
more
that
perfect
is
than that.
perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect. Well, this was a blast. I so happy you thought of this, Deej. And kudos to all four of us for pulling this out pretty much of the air and making it happen, because that's what SNL ladies and a guy do.
We
We
make things
make things
happen.
happen. Victor, I want to thank you again for coming to our rescue. You added so much to this episode, and we were so happy to have you, and we'll definitely have you again. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're all very excited for the Melissa McCarthy and Dijon episode
Yes,
getting ready
thank you
to
for having
air
me.
on
It was
December 6th. Very excited for that.
Super excited.
thank you so much for having me. Wild ride, but so happy that I was able to be here, and I love all three of y'all.
Well, we're gonna stick it out for you, Victor, because you've been ever since I first went into SNN chat. You've been so welcoming, and we don't always agree, but that's okay. We don't always have to agree, but you do have some good insights, and it's a good to have a good age group because I'm 57,
What?
so I've been around.
I would
Yeah,
not have guessed.
yep. I am. Well, see, I don't have children, so I don't have the stress of children. But that's just me. But thank you very much, Victor, and we love to have you on. We'll have you on again, as Sherry said. And so this will conclude our show for today. So this will be
Can
out
I plug a few
on the
things real quick?
Wednesday of the week that she is hosting. You
Yes,
go plug. Yes, sorry.
yes, you can follow me guys on Twitter at I'mAlive419. I talk about SNL. I might also talk about a few things. I also talk about the reality show Big Brother occasionally. So sometimes throw in a clip from the show Wild and Out. Because ever since I found out Mikey Day was on that, I was like, I gotta get into the show. And he's even more wild on that show than he is on SNL, believe it or not. And you can also follow me on Instagram at I'mAlive00000, where if you want to be up in my business, that's the place to go to. Just knowing about my personal life and stuff. And Demi always likes to comment on whatever is happening in my life, and I always appreciate that. And yeah, and of course I'm in the SNN
I
chat
love
rooms all the
it.
time. I plan on doing the Patreon show. Uh, well, by Monday, by the time you guys hear this, you probably have already heard me. So, and tell me if I do a good job for my third time doing it. And oh, and more special, and I'm gonna also say this on Patreon show, but me as well as uh another live chat commenter on there, Oversum Fire Productions, are thinking about doing our own SNL podcast called the Not Ready for Popcorn Players, where we discuss SNL movies. And if you want to, yeah,
Ah,
yeah, and if you. Yeah, and if
Oh
you
my
want to join,
god. Oh,
I don't
I
know
would
if you
love
have to get
it.
my email or his, I'll discuss it with him. But yeah, and hopefully he could come on one day because unfortunately he's not going to join for me. But hopefully one day we could join. Then yeah, hopefully the two of us could
John
pull
is
a
like
Casey
Lorne
and Deej one
Marshall's.
day and join on the pitching shows. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
well, I'm always willing to support new podcasts like ours because we just gotta stick together because there's a lot of effort that goes
Yes.
into this. Oh, well, I've gotten much better at editing, and I do. And with the last We Heart Hater that I just edited, it definitely went better because I didn't do everything linear. I didn't go to the end and go back. So even those things may seem bleak, you must go forth and find the funny. Saturday Night Ladies is a presentation of Wacky Notion Productions. Hosted by Deeds Barons, Shari Fesco, and Demi Constantine. Recorded and edited by Deeds Barons. Off-week show research by Shari Fesco. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, just email SaturdayNightLadies1978 at gmail.com. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.